welcome to Diaspora Fusion, your #1 show that brings you all matters diaspora, from business with a twist to culture to lifestyle. You want it, you got it right here. On today's show, we get to discover one of Kenya's biggest art establishments and also one of the founding members of the art world in Kenya. We get to talk to an artist who's all about culture, and we get to experience books and coffee. My name is Evie Minor. Welcome to the show. Did you know that there are 109 diplomatic missions in Nairobi? Yes, Kenya prizes itself in promoting its image and interest globally through innovative diplomacy that promotes a just and peaceful world. Kuona Trust offers the opportunity to experience the rapidly growing art scene in Nairobi. It's a darling to so many artists and art lovers. Diaspora Fusion took a little gander to their premise, and this is what we found. Kuona Trust is a non-profit organization founded in 1995 at the National Museum of Kenya. Since 2008, the Trust remains its own center for visual arts in Nairobi, a platform for innovation through art and creativity that supports the production, presentation, and promotion of contemporary visual art in Kenya. The center's workshop and mentoring programs give artists the opportunity to further develop their skills and experiment with new artistic concepts. In addition to about 10 studios, there are workshops for woodworking, blacksmithing, sculpture, and printmaking on the premises. Kuona Trust is also a strong advocate for cultural exchange. Its residency program and international artist workshop form the hub of a network of Kenyan and international artists under the umbrella of the Triangle Network. Furthermore, the organization strives to create a new awareness and increase appreciation of contemporary Kenyan art among the public. Kuona Trust hosts exhibitions and artist talks, maintains a library, and fosters an open-door policy that allows local residents and members of the general public interested in art to visit the artist studios and workshops at any time to gain a first-hand impression of the creation of art. Whoa, such a creative space Kuona Trust is. Well, we get to take a short break. Don't go too far. Andrew Kibet is a sculptor at Kuona Trust. He got his passion for wood carving at a very young age and carried that same passion into his career. He is inspired by faces and virtually the world that surrounds him. We got a chance to speak to him, and this is what he had to say.
After I did my diploma in Buruburu Institute of Fine Arts, so I was sent out to go for an attachment period. I looked and then I came here. I found a guy called Kefa Mosoti. He was doing wood carvings, so I fell in love at the first sight. I can say it's something that I really liked it because it's something intriguing. So I decided to pursue education in the art sector. So I can say that it's both of them, education and passion. Particularly, I fell in love with faces and portraits because wherever I walk, everyone has a face, and a face tells a story. So behind me you can see that there's a face, like an Indian face. So I came and realized in Kenya there are different cultures, and each culture has something unique, like headwear. You can find someone putting on a turban, like a Muslim can have something. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. My inspiration, I can say, it comes from everywhere. When you're inside a matatu, like the guy asking for change, asking for money, an idea just hits you, and you're like, yeah, this is something. Especially when you're in the art sector, so you're looking for new ideas, nature. I think it comes from every aspect of where you interact with, especially the environment. It starts out with the mind. When you get the idea, you source for wood, a piece of wood. When you get the wood, now it's to transfer the idea. But because it's sculpture, you have to think in 3 dimensions, not like a painting. Because a painting, you can just paint it like one place. But in sculpture, you have to carve it, the ear, you go to the back of the head, the neck, the body, the eyes. So it's really engaging. It brings all your senses into one place. When you get the track of wood, I think some type of wood can tell you something. It can bring the idea itself. So you don't have to force it. Like you're going to be a face. It refuses. It says, no, you're going to have to make me a leg or something. So I think it depends on the wood and the idea that you have. Sometimes you can force it, sometimes you can't. It just refuses. It becomes something totally else. For me, I can say it's very important because like Kefa Mosoti is a guy who's been in the industry for a long time. when I was in primary, he was captain. So I think that's a lot of experience. And if you ignore that experience, it will be like ignoring the past, the people who came before you. So mentorship, I can say it really helps a lot, even though you have the talent, but you need guidelines, how to execute an idea until to the finished product. The challenges, so for example, the distance, I really walk a lot, so that's something interesting. So, but it's not like a challenge, but it's more of like a barrier. It's a barrier. So there's like the transport to get here to the workshop for mentorship. Ideas, you can get an idea that's so complex that you can't really execute it. So that's where again the mentorship comes in. So yeah, it's all about, I think every individual has his or her own challenges or barriers. I'll tell them that it's not easy, but if you have the drive, you really have the drive, you can pursue it, and it will reap rewards. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Whoa, Kibet right there with such an interesting perspective of sculpture. Well, we take a short break. Don't go too far. What started as a job opportunity in Kenya for Rajiv grew to a love of this beautiful, exquisite country. And when the time came for him to decide what next, he thought, let me invest in this beautiful country. We talked to him as we get to experience books and coffee. What started as a love of Kenya, Rajiv founded a couple of restaurants in Nairobi, and among them, the library.
So I opened the first restaurant at the Hub Mall in Karen called the Mayura, and I think it was a pleasant surprise that the Kenyans love Indian food and they embrace the restaurant with great zeal. And that helped us progress further. So we opened multiple restaurants after that. And it was really during COVID that this beautiful restaurant came up that we are sitting here called the library.
The library is just that, a library with a twist. Only that books are involved. An interesting perspective in the age of smartphones and social media.
So as I said, my first restaurant was Mayura, and Mayura is a fine dining Indian restaurant. And after the success of Mayura, we really were thinking, what else can we do? And adding another branch of Mayura wasn't seeming too exciting. So we really thinking about what's the other concept that is not there, which will work with Kenyans. And to me, I was always fascinated by the combination of books and tea, because they complement each other so much. And in this day and age of digital gadgets and iPads and iPhones and other smartphones, I think people have forgotten to read, or people have forgotten to pick up a physical book and read, which we all used to do when we were young or growing up. And I think that idea stayed, saying, if we create a nice ambience and a nice place where a person can come, pick up his favorite book, read his book in a comfortable environment, and in the process also have your favorite beverage, tea, coffee, pick up some food, etc. So that idea was very exciting, that if we can give people, especially the young people, an opportunity to come to a place where they can just be themselves, and you really do not need the if you are with friends, great, but even if you're not with friends, you come alone. And I see so many especially young women who come here, just spend time with themselves, pick up their book and spend hours reading the book. And I think it's so exhilarating to see that happen, which means people were really looking for a place where you can have something of a peaceful time with yourself and with your friends as well, if you're coming with your friends. So I think this is a fun place where we have combined a serious work element with some elements of fun. Okay? Like, these pods that you see, they've become very popular for workspace. So we have a concept called rent a pod for a day. So for 1500 shillings, we rent this pod for the whole day. You can sit here, you get unlimited house tea and coffee, and also a meal which is built in. So it's really value for money that we want to give to the customers. And people come here, book for a whole day, conduct their office. So, and especially in COVID times, people are looking for virtual places which are isolated. So it's their own little nest for the day. And like I said, we combine the fun elements to it. So there is, every Friday we do Kizomba, which is, after a serious work day, now it's the weekend. So what do? You just, let your hair loose and just dance to the tunes of Kizomba.
The ambience comes in different dimensions, and among them is a honeycomb-shaped pod. The plan?
Although when we started building this honeycomb structure, there was no COVID. But it so happened that during the process of construction, COVID set in, and after the restaurants got opened a little bit, we realized that people are really looking for places which are isolated from each other. So it was just an incidental and a good byproduct. But the intention was not really that. Intention was to make a honeycomb kind of a structure to accommodate people in their own shell, and I think that was the intent. And the second reason also was that we don't have it's not a very big shop, so we didn't have much space. So but we had height available, so we said instead of going horizontally, why not go vertically? And that was optimization of space was another big consideration when we were making this honeycomb. COVID obviously was unexpected for everybody on earth, right? And when it struck, of course, as I said, we opened shop during COVID, so therefore we were in a sense hit really hard, because we did not even have time to get settled in, because we had to open during the COVID period with all the restrictions in place of social distancing, etc. But fortunately, and let me talk about library in particular and not about the other restaurants. So here, fortunately, because of the newness of the concept and because of the vibrancy of the colors, etc., we got a very good response even during COVID, to the extent that sometimes we really had to close the the reservations and say we cannot take no more because of social distancing norms, and we can just accommodate those many people. So I think to that extent we got cushioned a little. But there was a time when a few months where government of Kenya had stopped the dining completely, and therefore we were only dependent on takeaway, and that's where we suffered the most, because we were not a very known brand because of being new, and therefore the deliveries and takeaways were very low. And when you stop the dine-in, then really your the revenue stream stops completely. Well, one certainly is the love and affection that we've got for library. We are encouraged to open more libraries as and when we see an opportunity. So that's surely in the plan. But apart from that, as I said, the idea is I've always looked for something which is different that we can do in Kenya, and not be just another restaurant or just copy another restaurant. And in the same line, we are creating another concept called dhaba. And dhaba literally means a roadside eatery, right? And therefore we combining the rustic experience with modern convenience, and I think that's the amalgamation that you'll see in dhaba, like the elements of dining inside a truck or dining inside the tuk-tuk, and having a rustic experience, whereas also being pampered and served with good food and good service. So therefore that's another exciting concept that we are launching hopefully next month. So that's something to look forward to.
So if you're looking for a place where you are just out to have a peaceful time by yourself or with friends, the library is the place to be. Thank you for watching Diaspora Fusion. From discovering Kuona Trust to experiencing a bit of culture with sculpture and to living a little with coffee and books. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as I did. In case you would like to write to us or tell us anything, please contact us on our social media pages. My name is Evie Minor. Let's do this next week, same time, same place.